Hi, it's the Constant Angler. I'm just going to do a little video about why and what do you get if you upgrade from a budget reel such as this Tsurinoya Dark Wolf KF50SL. Has a very good reputation, this one. It is in fact the original, and I've bought one myself and I'm very happy with it. It does everything I want of it. I'll state now, I do run a Facebook group called Budget Bait Finesse Fishing, so I am coming from that point of view. This is what this video is about. It's a different point of view. You can go out there and you can look at all the specs here and see some very good anglers telling you a lot about this reel. But this is for somebody who maybe has a budget reel and is thinking, is it worth investing in a top end reel? What will I get in return? This is the case for me. This is my first top end reel. I know a bit about BFS reels now and BFS fishing. I've been doing it for 2 to 3 years. And obviously through the group, I learned quite a lot. So I think I'm uniquely placed to give you a good, unbiased opinion. So if we look at price to start off with, the Tsurinoya there's about £70 or so from AliExpress, give or take. The Aldebaran BFS XG left-handed model here is around about £300 in the UK. So depending where you live in the world and whatever, it's going to vary. So what do we get? So what were my initial impressions when I first took the reel out the box? Obviously I was very excited because it's my first top of the range reel. So if we put the Tsurinoya aside for a minute, we'll just focus in on this one. So what our first impressions were, what a lovely looking reel. Absolutely stunning. You can see the detailing, the almost mean looking front on that reel. The color scheme, I'm loving the sort of a blue titanium color scheme with the chromed accents and the golden accents inside the reel handle here. Of course I get a decent pair of reel knobs. They're actually new ones as opposed to the last model apparently. Yeah, overall good. And of course the next thing you do is give it a wind and see how smooth it is. Yeah, it's very, very smooth. The Tsurinoya is really not bad, but it's not in the league of this. It feels tighter, it feels smoother, almost buttery smooth. That'll be the micro module gears that it has. And yeah, everything just feels a lot smoother. If you spin the spool there, you can see how freely that's spinning. That's actually set on 1 now, the minimum. It doesn't actually have a 0 for minimum setting, it has a 1. And if I tighten it up there, good brakes, slowing it right up there. There we go, look, just adjust them. So yeah, it's great like that. So it's very, very smooth. That was my nail catching on the star drag there. Everything is very classy looking. It feels good in the hand. Some people worry about this. I've not noticed that. And yeah, and the drag is very smooth. You know, Shimano's drags are fantastic. I own other Shimano wheels, just not BFS wheels, bait casters. So that was my initial impression as I picked it up. And then, you know, this is an honest review. This is a top end reel I bought here, so I'm expecting the best, aren't I? Now, the side plates, a bit tinny. Apparently they made a CI4 plus. So is the star drag, which is very positive and a great click on it there. Yeah, I know CI4 is good stuff, but I found this on my Stradic spinning reel. I felt the same about it. It just feels a bit cheap to me. I know it's not, but it does feel like that, these end plates in the frame there. The main body of the frame, so I'm told, is magnesium, and Shimano don't really state it anywhere that I can find. But yeah, obviously that's a big plus for this reel as opposed to the Tsurinoya, which is a carbon frame. Now, so I'm told, I haven't had the problem, carbon frames can distort over time. They can warp. I don't know whether heat's involved or what, or just use. And then of course if that warps, then that spool is not going to spin so easily. So if I show you this again, the spool spinning on the Shimano, I mean, it's just, yeah, great. It'll keep going like that for a while, yeah. And I'll show you the Tsurinoya, which I've actually upgraded the bearings on to Roro slick bearings. And it's, you know, it's on 0 there. And you can see it spins quite smoothly, but it's not, you know, and I put one drop of Duathlon dedicated bearing lube in there. So yeah, I could clean it out again, but I did do that. It's not going to spin like this reel. Maybe there's better bearings I could put in. Maybe I've just been unlucky. But this is straight out of the box. The bearings on this are fantastic. They're so smooth. So yeah, that's a downside to me, but you know, you want it light, don't you? So I guess it's a bit of a compromise. The same could be said about the thumb bar. It feels a bit plasticky. I'm not sure what that is made out of. But yeah, it looks fine. It's a nice, you know, chrome finish, stands out. It's a wonderful positive thumb bar. It's more positive and it sits a bit higher, so it's easier to access with the heel of your thumb there, rather than the whole of your thumb. If we look at the Tsurinoya, you know, yeah, it's very positive. It's extremely good, but it's all a bit, when I start to wind, I've got to put more effort in. Whereas this one is so easy. So this is what you're paying for. You're paying for the engineering, albeit the, you know, the end plates can feel a bit, you know, cheap. So can the star drag. CI4 is a good material. I found with my Stradic reel that, you know, corrosion isn't a problem with it. And I actually prefer the lightness. So really, it's a bit of a grumble, isn't it? So they're my initial impressions. What don't I like? Because there's always things you don't like with any reel, or things you would improve. What don't I like? This. A lot of people, this is very contentious. I'm one. I don't mind the feel of it. I'm not worried like that, and that it protrudes a little bit. I'm not too worried about that, but that's just a piece of plastic to me. And the thing I really don't like, as long as it does the job and doesn't break, I'm not worried. I'm worried if I do drop it though, either this or this, it will break, chip or something. I cannot see the numbers on there. And on there it goes from 1 to 6. Although when I adjust, it's very easy to do, it doesn't click. I knew that before I bought it, so, you know, I feel a bit guilty complaining about it. But yeah, it doesn't click, which makes it harder to just sort of realise where you are. I mean, it's part of their silent tuning, they call it. And also, the intention knob is quite stiff and it doesn't click either. What you find is you have a lot of little plastic washers, little seals all over the place on these reels that help it be very, very smooth. So I worry with that I know from experience with washers of other descriptions on other things, that eventually they do corrode. So you're gonna have to get this reel serviced more regularly than you are that reel, if you can get that serviced anyway. You have to learn to do it yourself, I think. But the Shimano, yeah, that's probably gonna have to go away. So that's a downside, but you know, it's a high-end reel. It might be worth it. Something else I really like, if you listen to the, I think the drag, listen to that drag, and it's beautifully loud and clear, isn't it? Yeah, it's fantastic. Now, if I get the Tsurinoya, it has a drag clicker. Make sure it's... There you go. You can hear that. It's not that, is it? This is 2 or 3 times as loud. So I do find with the Tsurinoya sometimes, if it's windy and I've got a fish on that's pulling drag, that I can't always hear it. I have to strain myself to hear it sometimes, not all the time, so at least it does have one. I also found, I had some line on this earlier and pulling some line off that, you know, I haven't been on the back of it yet. The drag on the Shimano is straight away off the bat. There's no resistance nor anything, it just gives. This, very good, but not the same. It's just an upgrade. That's 3 times better than that, even though that does the job very efficiently. That's, you know, the kind of thing you're looking at. Another thing I don't like this cheap end cap there. You know, it's plastic. I worry that might break, or, you know, it's a retaining cap for the handle. Yeah, it still feels a bit plasticky, but the handle, the grip is great. I like that. I like the shape of it, the styling of it. And apparently these are new handle knobs, and yeah, I like the look of them. It looks good. So it's a beautiful looking reel. It's well constructed, although it can feel slightly cheap. But that's only if you go doing this. when it's in your hand and just looking at it, it doesn't feel cheap at all. In fact, it feels totally the opposite. So, is it worth jumping from this to this? For me, it will be. I'm taking my BFS seriously now. I'm doing more and more of it, or I intend to. And it helps me, when I do reviews of cheaper reels, put things into perspective. Because all I'm doing at the moment is reviewing this reel against another budget reel that I've bought. Now, for me, that is the best budget reel. I don't own a Lingle, which is supposed to be very good as well. And this reel is fantastic. I've done the brake modification on it, and I can cast lures. I'm not brilliant at it, but I can cast sub 2 gram lures accurately and easily. I did a video with this reel when it first came out, and I was managing to do it then. I'm a lot more experienced than that. I've done a trout video where I'm casting quite light lures. Will this cast even lighter lures? Yeah, we'll find out. Apparently, Shimano are stating 2 grams up, but I've heard that it'll cast lighter lures. It has the FTB braking system, the newer one, smaller one, adapted for the smaller, lighter spool here. So it should be able to. So it's a dynamic braking system. This is the original Dark Wolf. It has a dynamic braking system. So I guess my advice to you would be, if you're thinking about taking your BFS more seriously, then it's a natural thing to do to progress and buy a more high-end reel. I can't tell you whether to buy this one or buy a Daiwa. I don't have the experience of the Daiwa. I wouldn't mind one for saltwater, actually. The Gigabirkin, or however you say it. I don't know how you say it. Difficult to spell as well. But what I can say is, as impressed as I am with this reel, if you're not fishing BFS a lot, it's an occasional thing for you. I have even more respect for this reel now I have bought this reel. This is very functional. We'll do cast testing videos, see how far they both cast and how easily they cast, whatever. But I have more respect for this reel than I did before. I had plenty before anyway, because for what you're paying, I mean, I've upgraded the bearings and done the magnet. That's probably £100 I pay for that. I'm paying 3 times as much for that. This will do the job admirably. It's a fantastic reel for the price that you pay. But this, if you're serious about your BFS, will probably be even more enjoyable for you. And yeah, so I guess what I'm saying is, yes, I would buy a top-end Aldebaran, because I'm going to take it more seriously. Will you? That's a choice you have to make. But fortunately, if you can't afford it in these modern times, this will do the job for you admirably. So I hope that's helped. I hope that's helped even some people. And I hope to do next video will be a casting video, and then possibly a third video where we do a fishing video as well, or maybe we'll incorporate the two into one. We use the same line, the same rod, do all of that, and we can make even more comparisons. And then hopefully I'll do sort of 6-month or long-term test with this reel, because you never know, it might turn out to be a lemon. I don't suspect it will, because lots of people already own them. So thanks again. Please like and subscribe. The Constant Angler.